And shifting our focus to another bit of breaking news update that's just come in. This is a CNN News 18 mega exclusive on Mohammed Yunus's tussle with the Bangladesh Army chief. This is Yunus versus the Army General Waqr-uz-Zaman, both of them at loggerheads. CNN News 18, remember, has been reporting that the tussle between the two has been ongoing and only escalating. And now intel sources claim that the army chief has called for an urgent meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to explore a future plan of action. Earlier, sources close to the Bangladesh Army chief told CNN News 18 that Bangladesh Army is on board with him and wants its own government. The second big worry is Yunus's attempt of division of army when he has appointed the National Security Advisor in the absence of the army chief. The army chief was aboard when this appointment was made. Sources also say attempts of the new NSA and Yunus will be to remove the army chief, but most of the commanders want election as soon as possible. So the army clearly backing the Bangladesh Army General. It is a dramatic political showdown that's unfolding in Bangladesh. Chief Advisor Mohammed Yunus at loggerheads with the Bangladesh Army Chief. Going across to Siddhant Mishra, who joins us with more details. These developments most certainly are new, but there seems to have been a new strategy that the Bangladesh Army, or at least the generals, are coming up with ever since the appointment of the NSA that seems to have completely irked the military ranks in the country, Siddhant.
Well, that's right. And it's likely that the army of a country stops for an election. Because in most of the countries in the neighborhood, we have seen that army never calls for an election. But in Bangladesh, that is perhaps a point of contention. That has been a point of contention between Mohammed Yunus and Bangladeshi army, because army has been asking him to declare election. Perhaps that was the promise which he made on the first day. And it's been more than 6 months, even more than that, he power. But elections have not been announced. Now, Manoj Gupta's bringing for us is that in the meantime, army chief called for an urgent meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to explore future plan of action. Army wants Yunus to go and declare elections as soon as possible. Army chief's biggest worry is instability. Instability due to foreign interference, which is happening due to players like Yunus, who are a puppet of foreign agency. Perhaps he at times he tries to lure, flirt with Americans. At times he tries to flirt with Chinese. So army is perhaps doing the assessment of what all he is doing. Army chief has plans to bring both parties of Sheikh Hasina and Khalida Zia to come together and contest elections for the country. Army's biggest worry is the release of many prisoners by executive orders by Yunus, which has gone against the country. We have seen in the past how the radicals have been released, the extremists have been released from the prisons after Yunus comes to power. Earlier sources close to army chief told CNN News 18 that Bangladesh army is on board with him and wants their own government. Second biggest worry is in terms of division of army when he has appointed National Security Advisor in the absence of army chief when he was abroad. Perhaps army is looking at that particular decision of Mohammed Yunus as a betrayal. And in fact, earlier Master General, Major General, Lieutenant General Faiz-ur-Rahman held a closed-door meeting with the National Security Advisor Khalil-ur-Rahman, who is confidant of Chief Advisor Mohammed Yunus. Sources say attempt of new NSA and Yunus will be to remove army chief, but most of the commanders want election as soon as possible. In the meantime, army chief is also clear that he will not take pressure of any civil group and stop movement of any protest towards his office or home. Any army chief sources say he tried to help Yunus initially, but the way foreign interference is coming, army chief wants election as soon as possible. So we have seen that Bangladesh, same army which backed Mohammed Yunus, perhaps made him sit on the post of chief advisor, is now turning fully against him, only because he is delaying the announcement of elections. Perhaps the army has its assessment that Yunus doesn't have an intention to declare election anytime soon.
Oh yes, besides it appears that Mohammed Yunus's alleged ambitions to secure long-term control by aligning with foreign powers is what has triggered alarm bells across the military leadership in Bangladesh. Many thanks, Siddhant, for getting